Jim Inhofe went on a conservative radio show to brag about how his side won in the debate about climate change.
The issue isn't climate changing. Climate is always changing. And is man, and the name of my book was The Greatest Hoax. And the greatest hoax very clearly was the idea that man is causing climate to change. That's a very arrogant thing to think that man has the ability to do that. Now, I will also cover in some detail, as I have been, and you remember it, Tony, because you've been around back in 2002 when I was the only member who would stand on the floor and tell the truth about the whole idea on at that time global warming. Now they couldn't get 25 votes in the old United States Senate supporting cap and trade. And that wasn't true back in those days. So clearly we've won.
So scientifically speaking, of course, he didn't win because he totally disagrees with the scientific consensus about climate change. But in terms of policy-wise, yeah, his side largely won. Now, President Obama has done a handful of good things on the issue of climate change. I think he's trying, and I think he cares, because I think he realizes that this is going to affect his legacy in a big way if he doesn't take some bold action. So we have the thing that he announced recently with the deal with China. We have other things that he did as well in terms of limiting emissions here at home. His executive orders were fantastic on pollution and coal plants and whatnot. So Obama's done some decent stuff. But in terms of Congress, I think Jim Inhofe is right that his side has won. And it's a devastating thing. It really is. And as I brought up yesterday, I want to bring up this point again because I think it's one of the most important points on the issue of climate change and legislation. All they have to do to win is keep insisting that it's a debatable issue. Because if they do that, what happens? You drag your feet on legislation. Because in order to get legislation through, you need to do policies. And to enact policies, you have to have over 60 votes to do it in the Senate. So as long as they keep insisting there's a debate, and they have a debate, and they scream on the floor of the Senate using all these arguments that have been thoroughly debunked and have been shown to be propaganda from the oil industry, as long as they keep doing it, they will win, because for us to win, we need to actually do something. For them to win, we just have to keep doing what we're doing. Just don't do anything and just keep debating it. So it's quite a nefarious thing. You have to understand that the same so-called scientists that are arguing against climate change today are literally the same scientists that argued that there's no link between smoking cigarettes and cancer decades back. And look, they're just for sale, period. They're just bought off. Back then they were bought off by Philip Morris. Today they're bought off by ExxonMobil and Chevron and BP and all the different fossil fuel industries. So he won. They did win in terms of policy, and that's unacceptable.